Let's dive right into a situation that honestly so many professionals face. It's that moment where doing your job, helping out a colleague, and doing the right thing all seem to be pulling you in completely different directions. So, what do you do? Okay, I want you to really put yourself in this advisor's shoes. You're sitting at your desk, you've got a big decision to make, and you know what? The stakes are a lot higher than they look on the surface. Let's break this whole scenario down. So, first up, there's your client. Now, this isn't some high-flying investor looking to make risky bets. This is an elderly person. They trust you, and their goal is so simple but so critical. They need steady, reliable income. They're literally depending on your advice to secure their future. Now, you've got a product in mind. It's a highly rated fund, and on paper, it looks pretty good. But there's another little detail here. Recommending this fund gets you a really significant commission. A nice personal bonus is definitely on the table. And just to make things even more complicated, there's a very human element. A colleague, someone you like and respect, pulls you aside. They mention that if you make this sale, that commission would be a huge help for them with a really tough family situation. So now the pressure isn't just professional, it's personal. So you see, this is no longer a simple financial recommendation, right? It's become this high-stakes choice with all these competing interests. What started as just another task in your day has blown up into a really complex ethical challenge. This is basically the battlefield of the decision. You're being pulled in all these different directions. You've got your primary duty to your client, of course, but then there's your duty to your employer, the pressure from your colleague, and hey, let's be honest, that desire for a personal bonus. They're all fighting for your attention.
You know that bonus in your colleague's situation? There's a name for those things. Ethicists call them situational influences. They're these powerful external factors that can kind of unconsciously shape our behavior, and they have this nasty habit of clouding our judgment right when we need to see things clearly.
So how do you cut through all that fog? Well, the key is to understand that for a lot of us, what we do is more than just a job. The real answer is found in the difference between just having an occupation and being part of a true profession. And here's the difference in a nutshell. An occupation, that's really task-focused, but a profession is client-focused. An occupation is about commercial gain, a profession is about serving society. And this is the big one. A profession follows a code of ethics that goes way beyond just the company rulebook. I mean, a true profession isn't just about having specialized knowledge. It's defined by having a duty to serve other people and sharing a common code of ethics. It's this code, this shared commitment, that ultimately builds trust with the entire community. And that brings us to the absolute bedrock of the investment world, or really any true profession. It all comes down to the currency of trust. Without it, the whole system just falls apart. Just think about it for a second. Clients are handing over their life savings, their retirement funds, their kids' college money, all based on one thing: trust. They trust that the professional on the other side of the desk is going to use their skills to serve the client's interests above everything else. Here's a really important way to think about this. Following the law, that's just the price of entry. Legal standards are the absolute floor, the bare minimum of acceptable behavior. But ethical standards, now that's the goal. That's what we should all be aiming for. Ethics asks you to aim higher. It goes beyond what's just legal and forces you to think about the real impact of your actions on other people.
This visual really says it all, doesn't it? Of course, specialized knowledge and a commitment to serving society are crucial, but they're both resting on something much, much bigger. Trust is that massive foundational piece that holds the entire thing up.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do you actually apply it when you're in the hot seat? Well, you need a practical tool. You need a framework to help you make these tough calls. Because let's face it, knowing the rules isn't always enough. A rulebook can't possibly cover every single complex situation you're going to face. You don't need a map. You need a compass, an ethical framework to help you find your true north, no matter how confusing the terrain gets. And here it is. It's a pretty simple four-step process. First, you just gather the objective facts. Second, you identify all the stakeholders. Who is actually affected by this decision? Third, you spot the conflicts and those outside pressures. And finally, with all of that laid out, you can find the right path forward. All right, let's bring it all back. Let's go back to our advisor and put this framework into action. It is time to choose the right path. So now that you've seen the framework, what do you think? With everything we've talked about, the duties, those situational influences, the absolute focus on trust, what is the single most ethical action our advisor can take right now?
The answer is guided by this one powerful, non-negotiable principle. The client's interests take precedence. That's it. Not your bonus, not your colleagues' needs, not the company's sales targets. The client comes first, period.
So the correct action isn't just to recommend the fund and, disclose the commission. It's to take a step back. It's to actively research all the investments that meet the client's primary need for steady income. Only after that duty of care has been fulfilled can a recommendation even be made. And what's the outcome of making this ethical choice? Well, in the short term, the bonus might be lower. It might even be gone. But the long-term gains, they're huge. Client trust gets locked in. Your professional reputation grows stronger. And those are assets that are way more valuable than any single commission.
At the end of the day, a career is just a long series of moments, a lot like this one. Trust takes a lifetime to build, but it can be shattered in an instant. So the real question this leaves us with is, how do we prepare ourselves in every single moment to make the choice that ensures that trust is never, ever broken?